The Kite Runner Chapter 15. 2 hours after the flight landed in Peshawar, I was sitting in a shredded upholstery in the back seat of a smoke-filled taxi cab. My driver, a chain-smoking, surly Roman who introduced himself as Ghulam, drove nonchalantly and recklessly, averting collision by the thinness of margins, all without so much as a pause in the incessant stream of words spewing from his mouth. Terrible as is happening in your country, your Afghani people and Pakistani people, they are like brothers. I tell you, Muslims have to help Muslims. So I tuned him out, switched to a polite nothing mode. I remember Peshawar pretty well from the few months Baba and I had spent in the 1981. We were heading west now of Jamrud Road past Cantonment and its lavish, high-walled homes. The bustle of the city blurring past me reminded me of a vulture from crowded version of the Kabul I knew, particularly of the Koshem Moknah or Chicken Bazaar, where Hassan and I used to fight cotton-dipped potatoes and sherry water. The streets were clogged with bicycle riders, mile-eyed pedestrians and rickshaws popping blue smoke, and weaving through a maze of narrow lanes and alleys. Virgin vendors draped in these blankets sold animal skin lampshades, carpets, embroidered shawls, and coppery goods from rows of null, tightly jammed stalls. The city was bursting with scones of shows of vendors, ranking the ears mingled with the blare of indie music, the sputtering of rickshaws, and the hanging bells of horse-drawn carts. Rich sounds, both pleasant and not pleasant, drifting to me through the passenger window, the spicy aroma of pakora and the nihari Baba had loved so much blended with the sting of diesel fumes, the stench of root, garbage, and feces. A little past of red bricks buildings of Peshawar University, we entered an area of Garole's River referred to as Afghan Town. I saw sweet shops and carpet vendors, kebab stalls, kids on dirt-caked hands selling cigarettes, tiny restaurants made of Afghanistan painted on their windows, all interlaced with the vast first aid agencies. Many of our brothers in this area they are opening business, but most of them are very poor. He is stung and snagged. Away we're getting close now. I thought about the last time I had seen Rahim Khan in 1991. He had come to say goodbye the night Baba and I had fled Kabul. I remember Baba and him embracing in the foyer, crying softly. When Baba and I arrived, he knew us. He and Rahim Khan kept in touch. They would speak 4 or 5 times a year, and sometimes Baba would pass me the receiver. The last time I had spoken to Rahim Khan had been shortly after Baba's death. The news had reached Kabul and he had called. He'd only spoke for a few minutes and lost the connection. The driver pulled up to another building at a busy corner where two winding streets intersect. I paid the driver, took my long suitcase, and walked up to the intricately carved door. The building had wooden balconies with open shutters. From many of them, laundry was hanging to dry in the sun. I walked up creaky stairs on the second floor, down a dim hallway to the last door of the right, checked the address on the piece of stationery paper in the palms, knocked. Then, a thing made, a skin and bones pretending to be Ibrahim, can't open the door. A gratis wearing t-shirt at San, San Jose State used to state about cliches. Avoid them like the plague. Then he laughed at his own joke. The class laughed along with him, but I always thought cliches got a bum rap because often they're dead on, but the aptness of the cliche saying is overshadowed in the nature of sayings as a cliche. For example, the elephant in the room, saying nothing cool more correctly described the initial moments of my reunion with Raheem again. We sat on wispy Master sat along the wall across the window overlooking the noisy street below. Sunlight sliding and cast a triangular wedge of light onto the Afghan rug on the floor. Two folding chairs rested against one wall, and a small copper samovar sat in the opposite corner. I poured us tea from it. How did you find me? I asked. It is not difficult to find people in America. I booked a map of the US and called up information for series in Northern California, he said. I wonderfully strange to see you as a grown man. I smiled and dropped 3 sugar cubes in my tea. He liked his black and bitter, I remembered. Baba didn't get the chance to tell you, but I got married 15 years ago. The truth was, by then, the cancer in Baba's brain had made him forgetful, negligent. You're married? To whom? Her name is Raya Tahiri. I thought of her back home, worrying about me. I was glad she wasn't alone. Tahiri? Whose daughter is she? I told him, his eyes brightened. Oh yes, I remember now. Isn't General Tahiri married to Jafrin's young sister? What was her name? Jamil Jan. Valai, he said, smiling. I knew Sharif Jan in Kabul long time ago before he moved to America. He's been working for INS for years, handles a lot of Afghan cases. Hi, he said. Do you and Soraya have children? No. Oh. He slurped his tea and think us more. Rahim Nah had always been one of the most instinctive people I'd ever met. I told him a lot about Baba, his job, the flea market, and how at the end he died happy. I told him about my schooling, my books, for published novels, to my credit now. He smiled at this, said he had never had any doubt. I told him I had written short stories in the leather-bound notebook he'd give me, but he didn't remember the notebook. The conversation, inevitable, turned to the Taliban. Is it as bad as I heard? I said. No, it is worse, much worse, he said. They don't let you be human. He pointed on the scar above his right eye, cutting a crooked path through his bushy eyebrow. I was at the soccer game of Ghazi Stadium in 1988. Kabul against Mazar-i-Sharif, I think. By the way, the players weren't allowed to wear shirts. Indecent exposure, I guess. He gave a third laugh. Anyway, Kabul scored a goal, and the man next to me shouted loudly. Suddenly, this young fellow who was patrolling the ageless, 18 years old at most of by the look of him, he walked up to me and struck me on the forehead with the butt of his Kalashnikov. Do that again and I'll cut your tongue, you old donkey, he said. Rahim Khan wrote the scar with the scarlet finger. I was old enough to be his grandfather, and I was sitting there, blood gushing down my face, apologizing to that son of a dog. I put Raheem more tea. Raheem can talk some more. Much of it I knew already, some not. He told me that, as arranged between Baba and him, he had lived in Baba's house since 1981. This I knew about. Baba has sold the house to Raheem not shortly before he and I fled Kabul. The way Baba had seen it those days, Afghanistan's travels were only temporary interruption of our way of life. The days of parties and wasur at Kabhan's house and picnics in Pakman would surely return. So he'd given the house to Rahim Khan to keep watch over until that day. Rahim Khan told me how, when the Northern Alliance took over Kabul between 1992 and 1996, different factions claimed different parts of Kabul. If you want, from the Shar-e section to buy a carpet, you risk getting shot by the spinner or getting blown up by a rocket. If you got past all the checkpoints, that was. You particularly need a visa to go from one neighborhood to the other. So people just stayed put, pray the next rocket wouldn't hit their homes. He told me how people knocked holes in the walls of their homes so they could bypass the dangerous streets and would move down the block from hole to hole into other parts. Some people moved about it underground tunnels. Why didn't you leave? I said. Kabul was my home. It still is. He snickered. Remember, the street was wound from your house to the military barracks next to school. Yes, I was the shortcut to school. I remember the day Hassan and I crossed it, and the soldiers had teased Hassan about his mother. Hassan had cried in the cinema later, and I put my arm around him. When the Taliban ruled in the Kite of Alliance out of Kabul, I actually danced on the street. Rahim Khan said, and believe me, I wasn't alone. People were celebrating at Shuman and getting the Taliban in the streets, climbing their tanks and posing for pictures with them. People were so tired of the constant firing, tired of the rockets, the gunfire, the explosions, tired of watching gold booting on his cohorts firing on anything that moved. The Allies did not more damage to Kabul than they destroyed your father's orphanage. Did you know that? Why? I said. Why would they destroy an orphanage? I remember staring behind Baba the day that they opened the orphanage. The wind had knocked off his curricle, and everyone applauded, then stood and clapped. When he delivered his speech, I know it was just another pile of rubble. All this money Baba had spent and all these nights he'd toured over the blueprints and all the visits he constructed site to make sure every brick, every beam, and every block was laid just right. Collateral damage. Rahim Khan said, "You don't want to know, American, what it was like sifting through the rumble of that orphanage. There were buried parts of children. So when Taliban came, they were heroes." Rahim cannot say. Peace at least. Yes, hope is a strange thing. Peace at last. But at what price? A valiant coin fit ripped Rahim knot and rook his gunberry back to fort when he spat into his handkerchief. It immediately stained red. I thought that was as good a time as sending to others the elephants room with us in the tiny room. How are you? I asked. I'm mean, really. How are you? Dying actually, he said, and goggling voice. Another round of coding. More blood on the handkerchief. He wiped his mouth. Blood and history brought from one waist temple to the other with his sleeve, and gave me a quick glance. When he nodded, I knew he had read the next questions on my face. Not long, he breathed. How long? He shrugged couldn't again. I don't think I'll see the end of this summer, he said. Let me take you home with me. I can find you a good doctor. They're coming out with new treatments all the time. There are new drugs and experimental treatments. We could enroll you in one. I was rambling and I knew it, but it was better than crying, which I was probably going to do anyway. He let out a sheaf of letters, revolved missing lower and scissors. It was the most thorough letter I had ever heard. I see America has infused you with the optimism that has made her so great. That's very good. We're melancholic people, we Afghans, aren't we? Often we wallow too much in the Salisbury. He gave in to loss, to suffering, accept it as an act of life, even see it as necessary. We say, life goes on, but I am not surrendering to fate here. I am being pragmatic. I have seen several good doctors here. They have given the same answer. I trust them and believe them. There is such a thing as God's will. There is only what you do and what you don't do, I said. Rahim Nah looked. You sound like your father just now. I miss him so much. But it is God's will, Amirjan. It really is. He paused. Besides, there's another reason I asked you to come here. I want to see you before I go, yes, but something else too. Anything. You know all those years I lived in your father's house after you left? Yes. I wasn't alone for all of them. Hassan lived there with me. Hassan? I said. When was the last time I had spoke to him? Those thorny old barbs of guilt shivering to me once more, as if speaking his name had broken a spell, set them free to torment me anew. Suddenly, the air in Rahim's not little flat was too thick, too hot, too rich with the smell of the street. I thought about writing you and telling you before, but I wasn't sure you wanted to know. Was it wrong? The truth was no. The lie was yes. I settled for something in between. I don't know. He cooked another patch of blood into the handkerchief. When he found his head to spit, I saw honey crusted sores in his scalp. I brought you here because I'm going to ask something of you. I'm going to ask you to do something for me. But before I do, I want to tell you about Hassan. Do you understand? Yes, I murmured. I want to tell you about him. I want to tell you everything. You will listen? I nodded. Rahim Khan sipped some more tea, rested his head against the wall, and spoke.